The story begins in the tribe square. Here, we see a few men surrounding and harassing a girl. One of them says, "Seriously, look, she's still trembling. Let me touch her and see." The girl was a fox girl, and the moment they reached out to touch her, she screamed loudly, "Don't touch me!" Hearing that voice, our main character suddenly opens his eyes. He sits up and shouts, "Who's shouting?" The next moment, he clutches his head and says, "Wait, why does my head feel so dizzy? What is this place?" Then, from outside, he hears those same men again. The ones bullying the girl. One man says, "Shit! This bitch was pretending to be dead." Another adds, "She actually bit me. Kill her." Hearing all this, our MC becomes even more confused. What's going on out there? He thinks. What the hell is happening? Thinking that, he steps outside his house. As soon as he does, he sees that all those men belong to the same tribe. One man was yanking the fox girl by her hair, shouting, "She's just a lowly slave. No wonder Li Yuan hates her so much." Then, two other men start talking to each other. One says, "Li Yuan isn't innocent either. Tell me, which family's slave ever ends up in such miserable shape? She's been abused worse than pigs and dogs. Even the best woman would go insane after all that." The second man agrees, "You're right. Even I don't treat my female slaves that way." Hearing and seeing all this, our MC is completely shocked. He thinks to himself, "Wait, could it be that I transmigrated into a novel?" He looks at the girl being bullied and realizes, the one being bullied in the clearing, that's the female slave of that dead scumbag, Kufu. She's one of the female leads. That's right, our MC has transmigrated into the body of Li Yuan, and Kufu is his slave. He continues thinking, the novel's name was The Villainous Heroines Are Obsessed with Me. I even skipped classes and pretended to be sick just so I could binge read it for 3 days and 2 nights, and now, I'm literally inside that very story. Looking at Kufu, he thinks, she's even purer than I imagined. He was still lost in thought when one of the men notices him standing outside. The man walks over and says, "Li Yuan, you're awake?" The moment the MC hears that name, he freezes in shock. He thinks, I'm that dead scumbag? The man hands him a stick and says, "Here, take it. Your runaway slave, your brother caught her for you. Now it's your turn to deal with her." Saying that, he drags the MC forward. Seeing this, the MC, now Li Yuan, is terrified. He thinks, this scumbag only lived for 3 days in the novel before dying. Are you kidding me right now? As he's thinking that, he suddenly sees something descending from the sky. A flash of bright light appears, and with it, a chubby little system materializes. The system cheerfully says, "Hello, host. My surname is Du, and my name is Ding. As your system, it's a pleasure to meet you." Then it continues, "Welcome to the novel world. The villainous heroines are obsessed with me, for plot guidance. Since the story has already begun, I'll keep it brief. You have become the canon fodder male character, Li Yuan. Your goal is..." Before it can finish, Li Yuan screams, "Wait, what? A canon fodder male is supposed to reform female villains? Isn't this plot broken?" The system replies quickly, "No time to explain. In short, if any female villain's corruption value reaches 5 stars, you'll die instantly." It adds, "Right now, female lead no, one's corruption value is rapidly increasing. If you don't act immediately, you'll die on the spot." One of the men turns toward him and says, "Li Yuan, what are you spacing out for? Watch my performance." Then the man throws an egg at Kufu, hitting her right on the head. Seeing this, Li Yuan explodes in anger. He shouts, "What the hell are you doing?" He rushes forward, shielding Kufu behind him, and yells, "I dare anyone to touch her again." Not far away, another girl is shown watching. She thinks to herself, he's actually protecting Kufu? But then, the system screams, "Oh no, corruption value rising. Faster. Faster." Hearing that, Li Yuan is stunned. He thinks, I'm protecting her, so why is her corruption increasing? Then he suddenly realizes, damn. How stupid of me. The guy I transmigrated into is her worst enemy. A scumbag who abused her for years. If he suddenly shows kindness, anyone would think he's plotting something even worse. Thinking that, he mutters, got it. Time to change strategy. Then, in a heavy, villainous tone, he says to everyone, she's my woman. I'll deal with her myself. Why would I need you bastards interfering? Get lost, all of you. Seeing this side of Li Yuan, everyone starts to leave. One man mutters, knew it, Li Yuan wouldn't suddenly change. He was just jealous, that's all. Another laughs. Ha! That female slave is really going to suffer now. Meanwhile, Li Yuan continues shouting, stay away from her. Whether she lives or dies, she's mine. If anyone dares touch her again, I'll tear them apart. Kufu continues glaring at him in anger. Seeing that, Li Yuan is startled for a moment. Then he says coldly, hey you. Hurry up and get inside. As soon as he says that, the system notifies him. Corruption value stopped rising. Well done, host. Keeping up the act, Li Yuan shouts again. What are you waiting for? Resting here? Do you think I've got infinite patience? We then see Kufu holding a sharp object in her hand, blood dripping from her palm as she glares at Li Yuan. But eventually, she stands up and starts walking toward the house. From a distance, another girl, Jinyi, is watching. She thinks to herself, this Li Yuan is quite interesting. After bringing Kufu inside, Li Yuan continues his act and shouts, keep up! If you fall behind, I'll break your legs. But Kufu struggles to stand and suddenly collapses. Seeing her fall, Li Yuan sighs softly. He thinks, she's pitiful. But the next moment, he laughs loudly. Ha! Fine, this young master will save you properly then. Time passes, and evening falls. Li Yuan then asks the system, by the way, don't I get a beginner's gift pack or something? The system replies, host has 10 beginner points, which can be used in the points shop to purchase gifts. What would you like to buy? Li Yuan says, only 10 points? You've got to be kidding me. I'll have to ask later if this world has a first-time recharge bonus. Then he looks through the shop and mutters, I can't afford high-level stuff anyway, fine, I'll just buy this 2-point women's outfit. Consider it an apology to Kufu on behalf of the previous owner. He looks at her and says, why hasn't she woken up yet? She's been unconscious for 3 days already. Just then, Kufu slowly opens her eyes. The system says, she's awake. She's awake. Seeing her awaken, Li Yuan thinks, phew, finally. He hands her some soup and says, I just finished cooking this. Drink it. But Kufu flinches in fear, thinking Li Yuan has poisoned it. The system alerts him. Oh no! Corruption value rising. She thinks you're trying to poison her. Li Yuan, don't break character. Following the system's advice, Li Yuan switches to his villain tone and says coldly, not drinking, huh? You will drink it. Whether you want to or not. I won't have anyone dying in my house. Hurry up. He hands her the soup again and growls, your worthless life. If you don't drink this, I'll drag you outside myself. Terrified, Kufu takes the bowl and drinks it. After drinking, she weakly says, what tricks do you still have left? Li Yuan shouts, TCH. So much attitude. Meanwhile, Kufu thinks to herself, this time, Li Yuan fainted because of me. Now that he's awake, I won't survive. Even if I die peacefully, that's fine. But who knows how much torture I'll endure before that. If only I still had my power, maybe it's better to just end it myself. As she's thinking this, Li Yuan throws a new dress at her and says, stop thinking nonsense. If you die, I'll drag your corpse outside and dump garbage on it. Then he brings her some chicken and rice, placing it beside her. He says, these clothes are for you to wear, and this food is for you to eat. Are you not grateful to your young master? Meanwhile, a snake is shown watching Li Yuan closely. That snake was actually Jinyi, the girl from earlier. She slowly transforms back into human form and thinks, he's still as bad as ever. Doesn't seem like he's changed at all. But that day, I clearly felt something different about him. Never mind. As long as he keeps abusing Kufa like before, I'll still have my chance. Two other girls call out to her. Jinny! Let's go pick fruits together. She replies. Okay. The scene shifts back to Li Yuan. He says, you only deserve this kind of food. When I was a kid, even my dog Wakai got 4 dishes and 1 soup daily. We see Kufa sitting silently, not touching the food. Keeping up his act, Li Yuan continues, look at your torn, filthy clothes. People will think I'm so poor that even garbage pickers become my slaves. How embarrassing. Change quickly. Don't disgrace the Li family. And finish your food. If you leave even a single bite, I'll dump it on your head. But then, the system reports, corruption value increased by 1 point. Hearing that, Li Yuan clenches his teeth. He thinks, being harsh doesn't work either. Why is pleasing her so damn difficult? The system replies, no, you weren't harsh enough. She still thinks the food is poisoned. Understanding now, Li Yuan picks up a piece of chicken and thinks, just how terribly did the previous owner treat her, for her guard to be this high. Then, acting again, he says aloud, oh, there's actually a chicken leg in this soup. I didn't even notice. He eats it and says, you think you deserve chicken legs? It tastes fine, but looking at you ruins my appetite. Saying that, he walks out of the house and shouts from outside, this young master doesn't even want to look at you. As soon as he leaves, Kufa stares at the food for a moment. Then suddenly dives in and starts eating ravenously. After she finishes eating everything, Kufa suddenly bursts into tears. The system is showing all of this to Li Yuan. The system says, host, Kufa's corruption value has dropped for the first time. Congratulations. Watching Kufa cry, Li Yuan murmurs, such a cute girl. How could the scumbag from the original novel abuse her so cruelly? And his name is even the same as mine. TCH, the author of this novel must be a complete pervert. Then he tries to look at his reflection in the water and mutters, why can't I even see my reflection properly? Looks like I really am a piece of trash, the system replies. In the 6 million word novel, Li Yuan's physical description was only 52 words long. According to our monitoring records, you swiped past that page in 0.6 seconds. Since you didn't remember it, your reflection doesn't resemble a real person. Hearing that, Li Yuan gets angry. Who has time to read an entire paragraph about a canon Fodder's looks? What a waste of life. The system then continues. By the way, host, according to the novel, your character setting says you won't take a bath for 3 months. The moment he hears that, Li Yuan pinches his nose and shouts, fine. You win. Can I spend 1 point to buy some shower gel? The system quickly answers, of course, no problem. If you purchase shower gel right now, you'll also get a towel and an exfoliating mitt completely free. Hearing the offer, Li Yuan immediately says, deal. The system gives him the towel, gel, and all the items. Then suddenly Li Yuan remembers something. Oh right. I saw that 1 point special offer for a medical kit earlier. Give me one of those too. The system replies, no problem, and hands him the medical kit as well. Night falls soon after. The system says, by the way, host, any items you purchase from the shop can be used permanently. Hearing that, Li Yuan smiles brightly. So generous. Then, as he walks into his house, he says to the system, dinner's been delivered inside, right? The system answers, your bodyguard already delivered it half an hour ago. Hearing that, Li Yuan kicks the door open and mutters, then she should have finished eating by now. But as he enters, Kufu is startled. She hasn't even finished her food yet. Seeing this, Li Yuan thinks to himself, why hasn't she finished eating? The system explains, oh, I forgot, she's still injured, so eating must be inconvenient for her. Realizing that, Li Yuan says to her, sit down and keep eating. Then, in a cold tone, he laughs and adds, if my dog ever left leftovers, you remember what happened, don't you? Hearing that, Kufa panics and hurriedly starts finishing all her food. While she eats nervously, Li Yuan opens the medical kit. Seeing that, Kufa thinks anxiously. So now he's found a new way to torture me. Then Li Yuan walks over and starts applying ointment to her wounds. Kufa's eyes widen in shock, the touch stings, and she winces. In her mind, she panics. Just as I thought, he's using poison on me. He's still the same Li Yuan as before. Meanwhile, Li Yuan, applying medicine, says calmly, It hurts, doesn't it? It should hurt, but in his mind, he sighs. There's no point explaining, it's just disinfecting alcohol. Better to let her think I'm torturing her. He continues his act. While still applying medicine, he orders, Keep eating. Don't you dare stop. Then he grabs her other arm and says, Give me your other injured hand. Every wound must hurt once. Kufa silently endures. When she finally finishes her food, Li Yuan also finishes applying the medicine. Standing up, he says, I've applied the medicine. I'm leaving now. But the word medicine shocks Kufa. She had been convinced it was poison. She looks down at her wounds and realizes in surprise. What he applied on me, it was really medicine, not poison. She tries to stop Li Yuan, but he has already walked out. Looking toward the door, she murmurs, Wait, this isn't even your room. Outside, Li Yuan shivers in the cold. Damn, it's freezing tonight. All right, it's worth it. Enduring this tonight will definitely be worth it. He thinks to himself. When she wakes up tomorrow morning and sees her wounds healed, she'll realize what I applied wasn't poison, but something to help her recover. That should make her corruption value drop for sure. But just as he's thinking that, the system interrupts. By the way, host, I forgot to tell you. Our scoring rules are divided into two aspects, corruption and affection. A corruption value of 5 means complete corruption, and an affection value of 5 means complete capture. 1 degree equals roughly 3,000 points. However, buying items from the shop consumes points. After your initial 10 points and your recent purchases, you now have only 7 points remaining. Hearing that, Li Yuan says confidently, What's there to be afraid of? I'm treating Kufa so well. By tomorrow morning, I'll definitely gain some points. The system replies, That's true. The night passes, and morning arrives. As soon as Li Yuan wakes up, he screams angrily, Damn it! That ungrateful backstabber. He storms around his room shouting, This is unreasonable. How is this even possible? After everything I did yesterday, I should have gotten at least 90 points, if not 100. But I didn't even get a single one. The system calmly says, Host, don't worry. We've made significant progress over the past 2 days. We'll soon be able to capture Kufu. Hearing this, Li Yuan stops pacing. Looking at his body, he mutters, Damn, I stink so bad. The original owner must have been a slob. No wonder I'm not getting points. No beauty would like a man who smells like this. Then he says, Think about it, if you were Kufu, and you saw a handsome, sparkling clean guy, who was gentle and considerate toward you, wouldn't your heart flutter? The system freezes in shock. Meanwhile, Li Yuan starts searching around. Alright, time to scrub myself clean. He exchanges 1 point for toiletries. After some time passes, we see Kufa sitting quietly in the house. Just then, Li Yuan walks in, freshly shaved and completely clean. He calls out, Hey! Seeing him in his new, clean look, Kufa is stunned. You're... Li Yuan grins proudly. Pretty stunning, right? But Kufu immediately takes a few cautious steps back, her whole body tense and on guard. Seeing that, Li Yuan blurts out, Hey, why'd you suddenly move away like that? The system panics. Not good. Her corruption value is fluctuating again. Li Yuan is shocked. No way. I'm completely clean now. I might not be world-class handsome, but I'm definitely above average. So why is her corruption value still rising? The system replies, According to our calculations, her corruption value will keep increasing at a rate of 0.0001 per second. Host, think of something fast. After thinking for a second, Li Yuan smirks wickedly. True enough, if some beautiful woman suddenly fell head over heels for me, I'd probably think she was trying to steal my kidneys too. Looks like there's only one way left. Then he shouts loudly. Why are you still wearing those ragged clothes? Didn't I give you new ones? Do you not like the clothes I picked out for you? Every time I talk, you make that gloomy face. Looking at you brings bad luck. Are you trying to defy me on purpose? Do you want the whole tribe to think the Li family is stingy? But in his mind, he sighs. Her PTSD is seriously severe. The narrator adds, PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder, is a mental condition that develops after experiencing a shocking, frightening, or painful event. Li Yuan keeps yelling. What are you staring at? Hurry up and change your clothes. Kufa nervously replies. But, I should go prepare food. Li Yuan scoffs. The food you make isn't even fit for a dog to eat. He pushes her gently back onto the bed and says coldly, You don't need to cook today. Just stay home and reflect on your actions. Then he storms out. As he walks away, he grumbles to himself. I even used my good looks, and she still won't give me even half a point of affection value. Back inside, Kufa watches him leave. She glances at the dress lying nearby and begins to think. She remembers when Li Yuan stood in front of her and protected her from those men. Then how he brought her inside and gave her soup to drink. She thinks, I'm just a slave who ran away and left my master to die. I should have been executed the moment I was caught. Why didn't he kill me? Why did he give me such nice clothes instead? Looking at her wound, she wonders. If he wanted to torture me, he could have just whipped me a few times. Could it be, he actually feels worried about me? Even this wound, it already feels a little better since yesterday. But then her inner voice scolds her. You're done for. Just because the man who bullies you every day didn't hit you today, you think that means he cares about you. She shakes her head. No, impossible. A person's nature doesn't change overnight. He must be planning a new way to torture me. The Li family has never been kind people. I can't fall for his tricks. Her conscience answers. That's right. Stay on high alert. Never trust him easily. A while later, Li Yuan comes back into the room. He's thinking, women, right? Maybe if she wears the beautiful dress tonight, she'll feel happy and her affection value will rise. But the system says regretfully, Host, I'm sorry to inform you, Kufu's corruption value has increased by another 0.03. That sentence feels like a dagger straight to Li Yuan's chest. He clutches his head and groans. This job is impossible. To hell with it all. I quit. The system panics. Please don't. If you quit, we'll both die. As soon as he heard that, Li Yuan gave an evil smirk and added, Hey girl, today's your unlucky day for bumping into me. Serve me well, and I'll grant you a quick and painless death. Then he asked the system, How was that? Was my performance menacing enough? The system quickly replied, More than enough, more than enough. Li Yuan sighed dramatically. No one knows how much effort I put behind the scenes just to stay in character. 2 days, let's do this for survival. The system echoed him. Let's do this for survival. Later, he returned home, carrying some firewood in his hands. Not seeing Kufu around, he shouted, I'm back. Where is everyone? Are you all dead or what? Kufu nervously replied, I'm here. He placed the firewood down beside her and said coldly, Go wash up. Put on the clothes I bought for you. You've been filthy all day, you're embarrassing me. What's wrong? Don't like the clothes I picked for you? Kufu quickly answered. No, that's not it, I just... Before she could finish, Li Yuan interrupted. Did I ask you to gather firewood? If your wounds reopen, I'll have to waste more money treating them again. Kufu timidly said. Then I'll... But before she could continue, Li Yuan lit the fire and ordered. Enough. Just go and clean yourself up. You need to make yourself presentable for me. Terrified, Kufu immediately replied, I'll go. I'll go right now. As she walked away, she thought bitterly to herself. So he really is the same Liuani. And I thought there was hope, thought maybe his heart had changed. He'll never change, never? Then, Liuani poured water into a basin and said flatly, "Go on, wash," he added mockingly. "Other people's female slaves have better bodies and prettier faces. Just taking a walk outside is easier on the eyes than looking at you. Who would even be interested in you?" Seeing him act so convincingly cruel, the system muttered, "Host, your cruelty doesn't even feel like acting anymore." After pouring the water, Liuani turned to leave and ordered, "Hurry up and wash." Then, speaking privately to the system, he asked, "So? How was my acting?" The system instantly replied, "Excellent, excellent." Meanwhile, Kufu began removing her clothes. She thought anxiously. He told me to wash myself. Does that mean tonight he'll? Outside, Liuani sat troubled. Handling just one Kufu is already this hard. The other 6 won't be easy either. And I can't let them find out about each other or about their relationships with me. Otherwise, their corruption values might spike. This is literally a life-or-death balance. The system responded, "To maintain world peace, I really have no choice but to help you." Liuani growled in frustration. This book Transmigration was supposed to be about using cheats, acting cool, and turning the tables, not about becoming a simp. The system consoled him. "Think of it this way, host. When you've captured all 7 female villains, you'll command the 7 strongest warriors in the world. That's the ultimate cheat. Isn't that cool?" Liuani gave it a thumbs up. "You're right. Becoming a simp is just part of the journey. My goal is much greater than that." Meanwhile, Kufu finished washing. Night had fallen. She hesitantly called out, I'm done bathing," and stepped out wearing the new dress. She looked a little shy and thought, "Does this look strange on me?" Liuani glanced at her and said coldly, "Impassable." But in his mind, he was already planning, "I'll pamper you more, farm affection points, and buy you even more clothes. Then I'll make you try on nurse outfits, police uniforms, yoga wear." Kufu, seeing his cold reaction, thought in shock, "Is he not satisfied?" A little later, sleepiness hit Liuani. "I'm going to my room to sleep," he told her. "When you're done cleaning, stand guard outside while I sleep. Protect your master properly." Kufu quietly responded, "Oh." But before leaving, Liuani suddenly turned back, grabbed her chin, and warned, "If I wake up in the middle of the night and don't find you in the room, I'll strip you and pin you to the bed." Kufu froze in fear. I understand." He released her and said, "That's more like it." The system happily chimed in, "Corruption has stopped increasing. Great job, host. Your explosive acting really worked." Before going inside, Liuani warned again, "Leave the buckets and everything else where they are. Don't touch anything. If you mess around and worsen your injuries, I'll have to waste more money on you. Got it?" "Yes," Kufu replied softly. Then she thought to herself, "So he's afraid I'll get hurt or die, not because he cares, but because he doesn't want to waste money. Still, that's fine." She sank to her knees and whispered tearfully, "My escape failed, but at least I'm still alive. Life doesn't feel as unbearable as it used to." From inside his room, Liuani saw her kneeling and crying. Then the system suddenly shouted, "Congratulations! Corruption value has significantly dropped. Reward 10 points. Shop level 2 unlocked. More products available." Overjoyed, Liuani grabbed the system and hugged it tight, tears welling up in his eyes. "Finally!" the system said warmly. "Well done. If we keep up this routine, we'll definitely max out Kufu's affection value." Thinking of her, Liuani smiled faintly. "Silly girl. I'm not the same Liuani I used to be. One day you'll understand. I just want to see you smile, to see you happy." Then he lay down and fell asleep. Some time later, when he opened his eyes, he froze. Kufu was standing beside his bed, taking off her dress. Li Yuani blushed furiously and yelled. What are you doing? Kufa innocently replied. Didn't you say you wanted me to sleep with you? Silence filled the entire room. Li Yuani panicked, pinching his nose. When did I ever say that? Wait, why is my nose hot? Don't tell me I'm about to get a nosebleed from embarrassment. The system screamed. Not good. Corruption value increased by 0.01. Trying to control the situation, Li Yuani shouted. Have I been too soft with you? Look at yourself in the mirror, nothing but bones. Only dogs like chewing on bones, got it? But inside, he was in turmoil. I'm a decent man, and now a woman's throwing herself at me. How am I supposed to resist? Come on, I'm not a eunuch. Don't mess with me, I have procedures for this. Kufa stammered. But master, your recent attitude, doesn't it mean that you... That's your interpretation. Li Yuani snapped. You sleep on the bed. I'll sleep on the floor. Separate. Don't mess with me. He shoved her gently onto the bed. Kufa blinked, startled. I can really sleep on the bed? Li Yuani scowled, still acting. You jinx. You scared me so bad I think I pulled a muscle in my back. This bed's too soft. I'm sleeping on the floor tonight. But in his mind he thought, I might not be a eunuch, but if I make even one wrong move, her corruption value will max out instantly. As he laid down, Kufa quietly asked, So tonight, are we still? Still nothing. Shut up and sleep. Li Yuani barked. He turned away and lay on the floor. Seeing him fall asleep, Kufa thought, Great, he's asleep. Then she too drifted off, wondering, Why do I feel so at ease tonight? But in her sleep, her past memories returned. She saw her village burning, flames everywhere, screams echoing. A man, likely her father, shouted, Run! Don't look back, just keep running. Kufa ran crying, but before she could get far, she was struck from behind and fell. Bleeding heavily, she was captured, sold as a slave. Remembering all this, her body began trembling even in her sleep. Li Yuani woke up, startled, seeing her shaking violently. Kufu, are you okay? He asked. The system said. It's hard to wake someone trapped in a nightmare. Li Yuani asked. Can you see what she's dreaming about? Is it her past? I can't see the content, the system replied. But her corruption value has been slowly increasing for a while, and it's not stopping. I actually feel bad for you, for about 3 seconds. Li Yuani murmured. A noble girl with fox-skin bloodline, sold into slavery as a child, forced to endure endless humiliation and abuse. You can probably guess what she's dreaming about. He gently touched her face, thinking. In the original novel, it said her fox-skin powers were partially sealed because of her childhood trauma. That's why she became someone anyone could bully. He looked at her wound. It's still not fully healed, he said softly, applying medicine. If I apply more, will it heal faster? Even in sleep, Kufu winced from the pain, but pretended to stay asleep. She thought, what is he doing to me? It hurts so much. Then more thoughts raced through her mind. During the day he ordered me to eat, at night he insists I share the bed. Was all this just so I'd lower my guard before he poisoned me? Anger surged. She opened her eyes and thought furiously. If you want to kill me, just do it directly. Why torture me like this? This pain, even a pig would have woken up by now. She reached for a sharp object beside her. Li Yuani had already fallen asleep after applying the medicine. Kufu raised the sharp piece, whispering to herself. When you're torturing me in my sleep, don't blame me for fighting back. But then she paused. Wait, why does it itch so much? She looked down at her wound, and gasped. It's healing? This fast? She froze, stunned. Then her thoughts softened. So what he said earlier, that it was medicine, was true. Her eyes trembled, and at that moment, her affection for Li Yuani began to rise. Then the scene directly shifts to the next morning. Laini was still in deep sleep when suddenly the system woke him up in panic and shouted, Stop sleeping! Something terrible has happened. The real protagonist has transmigrated here too. Laini sat up abruptly, rubbing his sleepy eyes in confusion, and asked, What real protagonist? Fake protagonist? What are you talking about? The system yelled at him and continued, Yes. This is no joke. The original main lead from My Seven Wives Are Big Villains, Tianyuan Rai, has appeared here. I detected an energy fluctuation through background monitoring, and after tracing the source, I confirmed that Shitting was the one who brought Tianyuan Rai into this world. Hearing that, the ground beneath Laini's feet seemed to disappear. He screamed in shock. The original male lead? The one who's handsome, great in bed, and a master sweet talker? What am I supposed to do if he's here? The system, making things worse, said anxiously. I didn't expect him to move this fast. With his abilities, he'll soon surpass your progress completely. Laini's mind went blank. He muttered in panic. It's already hard enough handling Kofu alone, and now the real protagonist shows up? I'm the pervert who abused Kofu. This is literally a life and death situation. The system cut him off sharply. Right now, the most urgent thing is to speed up your progress in winning Kofu's affection. But Laini didn't think it would be that easy. He said, You saw it yourself. I can't rush things with Kofu, or it'll completely backfire. The system also started panicking and gave its biggest warning. But if the male lead finishes conquering all 7 female leads before you, the main system will directly obliterate us. Hearing the word obliterate, Laini fell silent, lost in thought. Then, after calming himself down and analyzing the situation, he said, No, actually, thinking about it, there's no need to panic so much. After last night, I gained 30 points. That means my strategy is working. He explained further. Closeness gives me an advantage. I don't think there's a need to be this nervous. After all, the canon Fodder who was supposed to die, didn't. The story's progression has already changed. If he wants to get close to Kofu and change her, he'll have to go through me first. Seeing Laini's confidence, the system finally calmed down a little. That's more like it. I was in such a rush I even forgot to tell you that you earn points. Laini said with a determined look. I can see that myself. Let's just take this step by step. At most, I just need to add a note on my list. Be cautious of the real protagonist. The system agreed. Okay, fine. But neither of them realized that nearby, Kofu, who had been asleep, had woken up and heard everything. Hearing their voices, she thought to herself. He's muttering again. Is he talking to someone? Before she could figure it out, Laini walked up to her, gently placed his hand on her head, and said softly, My good little fox, sleep peacefully and wait for me at home like a good girl. And with that, he left the house. Behind him, Kofu sat up, utterly confused by his strange behavior. Little fox? Good girl? She repeated blankly. The scene then shifted again, this time to the wild forest. Someone was singing in the distance, the sound echoing through the deserted woods. On this stormy battlefield, a stormy youth makes his debut. And the singer? None other than our Laini himself. As he gathered firewood, he was secretly plotting a new plan to impress Kofu. He thought to himself, Next time, I'll bring Kofu here, stage a beast attack, and then swoop in like a hero to save her. I'll even take a small scratch or two so she sees I risked my life for her. When she realizes that, she'll definitely. Lost in his fantasy, he suddenly heard a rustling noise in the bushes. He immediately became alert, turned around, and shouted, Who's there? I see you. Come out. Although he hadn't actually seen anyone, he stared into the bushes, and then a familiar voice called out, Don't attack. We're from the same tribe. It was the same girl who had been keeping an eye on him earlier. She stepped forward and said, From a distance, I heard ghosts crying and wolves howling in the forest, only to find out it was you singing. I saw you last time at the small plaza. Your name is Laini, right? Laini scratched his head awkwardly and replied, I thought there was no one in the forest, so I just sang a few lines out of boredom. Did I scare you? The two girls standing behind her started whispering among themselves. Is that Laini? Same name, right? But isn't everyone saying Laini's an ugly, dark-skinned sadist? This one looks pretty handsome, kinda cute, actually. Although they spoke softly, Laini heard everything. Hearing their compliments, he smiled inwardly. You can say it a little louder if you want. Then the first girl stepped forward again and said, You've really changed a lot since last time. And in her mind she thought, he looks like a completely different person. Laini seized the chance and asked, By the way, I still don't know your names. The girl smiled and said, My name is Xiaoyuan. Here, we just pick these. They're super sweet. The other two girls introduced themselves too, and Ning and Zhang Sui. At first, Laini politely refused the watermelon. Oh no, I can't take that, really. But Xiaoyuan insisted. We picked plenty on our way down the mountain. Here, try it. You can even take some for your female slave to taste. The word female slave instantly triggered something in Laini's brain. He quickly cursed at slave, in his heart to stay in character, thinking, She's just a slave. What's wrong with her tasting it? It's not like she's worthy. Then, activating his full drama queen mode, he thought proudly. If you're going to act, act perfectly. Don't show a single flaw. That's what makes a true best actor. The system commented dryly. Host, you're being way too cautious. Then Xiaoyuan turned to her two friends and said, Let's go. The three of them started walking away, but before leaving, Xiaoyuan turned back and smiled. Goodbye, Laini. Laini waved and replied, Goodbye. As the girls disappeared into the woods, he stared after them and frowned slightly. Wait, is my memory failing? Was there ever a beauty named Xiaoyuan in the original story? The system replied blankly. You're asking me? Among the 7 female leads you're supposed to capture, none are named Xiaoyuan. You're fair-skinned and clean now. Maybe your new charm is attracting other female characters. Hearing that, Laini laughed proudly. Now that you say it, I think so too. After that, Li Yuanyi returned home and went straight to the kitchen, trying to light the fire. Frustrated, he muttered, Why is cooking always such a pain? Damn it, the tinderbox is empty again. How am I supposed to light this one now? Annoyed, he called out, System! Give me a lighter. You have one, right? The system immediately replied, Yes, available for 1 point. And the next moment, a lighter appeared in Li Yuanyi's hand. The moment he held it, a devilish smile spread across his face. Igniting it, he said proudly, Let these bumpkins witness the great invention of the new age, the lighter. But just then, Kufu's voice came from the kitchen doorway. I heard you're in the kitchen. Hearing that, Li Yuanyi froze in panic and quickly hid the lighter under his foot. Stammering, he said, Why yeah, it's me. But wait, why are you here? Kufu replied softly. I came to cook. Still trying to act normal, Li Yuanyi said. You cook your food. I'm just practicing how to make fire. Nothing to do with you. Saying that, he grabbed 2 sticks and started rubbing them together furiously. But not even a spark came out. Kufu sat quietly at the side, watching the entire spectacle unfold. Unable to make fire, Li Yuanyi felt deeply embarrassed inside. He thought, rubbing sticks to make fire, isn't that a bit too much for a human? Damn, what if this humiliation raises her corruption value again? As we know, making fire by rubbing wood doesn't mean literally drilling fire, but generating high enough heat to ignite flammable material. Just then, Kufu stepped forward and said, Let me do it. She took the sticks from him, and in the next instant, summoned a small spark with her magic, easily lighting the fire and placing it in the stove. Li Yuanyi's eyes widened in shock as he shouted, Holy shit! Amazing! Kufu calmly said, Even though my power hasn't fully recovered, I can still summon a small spark like this. Li Yuanyi, utterly astonished, thought, She used magic. This is real magic. Does something like this actually exist? What about the law of conservation of energy? He muttered to himself excitedly. Sure, I knew this world was a fantasy setting, but seeing it with my own eyes? This is thrilling! Overcome with excitement, he tugged lightly at Kufu's dress and asked, "That hand gesture you made, do you also have to chant a mantra or incantation with it?" Kufu shook her head. "No, you just concentrate your power and sync it with your will." Hearing that, Li Yuanyi became even more excited. "That's amazing! So, do you always light fire like this? Doesn't it burn your fingers?" Kufu looked confused. "Oh no, it doesn't." Li Yuanyi immediately bombarded her with questions. "Does this skill have any cost? Can I learn it too? How do you learn it? Oh right, can you use only fire, or can you control water, ice, and lightning too? Holy shit, that's awesome! And eco-friendly too, right? Damn, no wonder there's no need for technology here when magic exists." All his words flew right over Kufu's head. She thought silently, "I don't understand anything he's saying." Then she glanced at him again and, for the first time, felt her heart flutter slightly. Why do I suddenly think he looks kind of cute?" But her inner voice screamed at her. "Have you lost your mind? You think he's cute? Don't forget how many years he tormented you." Startled, Kufu immediately stood up, shaking off her thoughts. "He's a deviant. All of this is just an act." Meanwhile, Li Yuanyi was thinking seriously. "How do I concentrate energy?" The system interrupted. "Points can be exchanged for skills." While Kufu started cooking, her attention was still half on Li Yuanyi. "But he's really been acting differently these past 2 days," she thought. Meanwhile, Li Yuanyi asked the system, "So, can that be exchanged too?" Kufu, still deep in thought, murmured to herself, "His attitude toward me is still cold, but he hasn't beaten or humiliated me like before. He even applied medicine to my wounds and let me sleep on the bed." And Li Yuanyi was saying to the system, "So what skills can I buy right now?" The system replied, "You currently have 46 points. You can use 45 to exchange for the skill Danger Premonition, which allows you to sense danger 10 seconds before it happens." Li Yuanyi frowned. "Only 10 seconds before? What's the point of that?" the system added. "Host skills can be upgraded." Li Yuanyi sighed. "Oh. Still, that's too expensive for now. I'll buy it another day." Then the scene returned to Kufu, who was still cooking, but her thoughts were completely filled with Li Yuanyi. "He's actually kind of good-looking now. And he even smells nice." Thinking that, her cheeks flushed red. Li Yuanyi noticed her odd behavior and thought, "Something's off. The pot's completely overflowing with water. She's distracted, and her face keeps turning red and pale. Is she about to get corrupted again? I need to act fast." Then he suddenly got an idea. "Got it!" In the next moment, he picked up the watermelon he'd gotten earlier, walked over to her, and said, "Kufu, look." She turned around and looked at the watermelon, saying, "A honeydew melon? Where did this come from?" Li Yuanyi replied casually, "When I went to gather firewood this morning, I met a girl from the tribe who was picking melons. She gave me this and said it's really sweet." Hearing that, Kufu's eyes narrowed sharply. "A girl gave it to you?" she asked coldly, thinking. "So now that he's good-looking, he just goes out and flirts around with girls handing him melons, huh?" Li Yuanyi continued nonchalantly. "Of course. Don't women love picking fruits and flowers? Anyway, keep this melon for lunch. Big guys like me don't like sweet stuff. You're lucky." Hearing all that, Kufu's temper flared. She said angrily, "I don't want it." Then she turned back to her cooking. Li Yuanyi snapped, "When I give you something, how dare you say no?" He slammed the melon down on the table and walked out of the kitchen, saying, "This kitchen's too greasy. I'm leaving. Cook something decent for me." Outside, Li Yuanyi finally sighed in relief and sat down. "System, how was that? Did I time my exit right? The situation's still under control, right?" The system replied, "Something's off. I detected a huge emotional fluctuation from Kufu, but it's not corruption." Li Yuanyi said, "As long as it's not corruption, everything's fine." The system murmured, "Still, this emotion feels strange. What kind of feeling is that?" Meanwhile, Inside the kitchen, Kufa pouted angrily at the melon. Someone gives you a melon and you just take it? You'll take anything from anyone, won't you? Seeing her glare, even the poor watermelon seemed to tremble in fear. Outside, Liuani looks a little troubled as he stares at the system window. He says, "The panel has so few functions, and even fewer points. How am I supposed to upgrade like this?" The system replies, "Don't worry. Once the 7 female villains appear one after another, you'll have more targets to capture, and the points will be easy to earn." Liuani brightens up. "True. If I grind all 7 at once, won't the points double?" He starts imagining how many corruption points he'll earn once he has all 7 female leads under him. But then his imagination shifts. What if all 7 female leads try to kill him instead? He quickly shakes off the thought and says, "One Chu Fu is already enough trouble. 7 beauties. I don't really want to accept this overwhelming fortune." The scene shifts. Tribe Plaza. A group of villagers gathers around an elder. The elder says, "This winter will be the same as previous years. The female slaves will pick cotton, and the male slaves will hunt. All female slaves will be guarded by the 2nd-level warriors of the wolf tribe." That elder is tribe elder Su Fu. At that moment, Liuani arrives, searching for Chu Fu. He looks around and mutters, "Where's my darling Chu Fu?" Then he spots her. Oh, there she is." He winks at Chu Fu, but she ignores him and walks away with a pout. Liuani looks shocked. "You've got to be kidding. I even gave her a watermelon yesterday. How much longer do I have to play the villain? Why is it so hard to capture women? It's so easy to build a harem in web novels." 5 days later. Liuani sits at the bottom of the stairs, muttering. "All the other female slaves have returned, but there's still no sign of Chu Fu. Aren't you going to give me an explanation?" "I'm not leaving until you give me an explanation." The elder overhears him and snaps. "You scoundrel, will you ever stop? Didn't I already send someone to look for you? Get lost, I'm going home." Liuani stands up and asks, "Did you find anything out?" "What's the answer?" Hearing that, the elder gets angry and calls for a guard. The guard arrives. "Elder, you were looking for me?" the elder asks. His female slave named Chu Fu still hasn't returned. "What's going on?" The guard shrugs. "What's it got to do with me?" She had a bad temper and was ostracized by the other female slaves, so she worked alone in a corner. Then she disappeared. I heard from the others that someone from the dark tribe abducted her. As soon as Liuani hears this, he's shocked. He grabs the guard by the collar and yells, "She was abducted and you didn't say so sooner? Weren't you supposed to be protecting the female slaves?" The guard snaps back. "I was there to supervise them, to make sure they weren't slacking off. Is it my fault she got herself left behind? Besides, she's just a slave. If she dies, buy another one. It's not like she's some rare treasure." Liuani is enraged by his words and punches the guard hard across the face. The guard roars, "Bullshit! I'll beat you to death, you useless fool who can't protect anyone." The two start fighting furiously. The villagers whisper, "With Chu Fu gone, the Li family won't make any contribution this winter. No wonder he's so angry." The elder rushes between them. "Hey, stop fighting! Stop fighting!" Another girl mutters, "He'll have to rely on himself now. After all, that kid can't afford a second female slave." The elder finally manages to stop the fight. Liuani glares at them and declares, "Chu Fu was abducted, not killed. I'll definitely get her back." He storms off, while the villagers laugh behind him. "Liuani, she's just a female slave, isn't she? Acting all hot-blooded like that. You think he's trying to become a king or something?" Later, at Liuani's home, Liuani rummages through his things, looking for a weapon to rescue Chu Fu. The system says, "Although your appearance has changed the plot, the fact that Chu Fu gets captured hasn't changed. As long as we rescue Chu Fu before the original male lead, Tianyuan, will seize the initiative." Liuani finds a wooden staff and grins. "Got it. Don't worry." Meanwhile, at the city gate, a man stands there, he also has a system like Liuani. He asks, "You said you just detected another system in this world? Who is it?" The system replies, "Unable to lock on for now. But it's likely the original work's male lead, Shi Tianrui." This is Shi Tianrui's system, Shui Ding. Shi Tianrui frowns. Chu Fu's useless master, Liuani, was supposed to have died a few days ago. But he's still alive. Do you think it could be him? The system replies, "Master, rest assured. Even if it is him, he's nothing to fear. It's normal for the plot of a canon fodder character to deviate a little. The main plot of the entire book still revolves around you, Master." Shi Tianrui smirks. "Ha! Who'd be afraid of him? After I rescue Chu Fu, I'll take her and roam the world, far away from that cruel master who only knows how to bully her. I'll reform her into a gentle little lamb." The system replies, "Liuani does nothing but beat and scold Chu Fu. In a way, he's helping you capture her. Looking at it that way, Master, you are truly the chosen one." Meanwhile, Liuani sneezes loudly. Who's bad-mouthing this young master? He shakes his head and continues preparing to rescue Chu Fu. Scene shift, night. A faint light seeps into a cave, bats wheel above its mouth. Then we see Chu Fu, locked inside a wooden cage. A drop of water falls from a rock onto her, rousing her. She is bound in chains of restraint, and around her stand some women of the Dark Tribe. They have bound Chu Fu in chains and keep her trapped. The narrator says, "When a certain race commits a grave sin and suffers divine punishment, its people become the Dark Tribe, abandoned by the gods and by the light. The people of the Dark Tribe are accepted by no other group. They can only wander eternally, sinking into a sunless darkness from then on." A Dark Tribe woman presses her hand against her belly and says that she is ravenous. Her attention drifts to Chu Fu's body and she says, "I can't take it anymore. I'm starving to death." She steps close to Chu Fu and pleads, "Boss, let me cut off a piece of meat to taste, just to tide me over." But her boss grabs the knife from her hand and says, "What's the rush? I know you're hungry, but you'll bear with it for now. This girl is so beautiful." The boss touches the knife to Chu Fu's cheek, and slowly drags it down, then stops. She smiles and says, "Look what a treasure we've caught this time. With such a curvy body and delicate skin, eating her with a knife would be a total waste. Just smell her. I haven't smelled such a clean, meaty fragrance in years. When I was young I also had a face as pretty as hers, and a rich body fragrance." They smile as they look at Chu Fu, but Chu Fu remains silent. Then a fire ignites in Chu Fu's eyes. Scene shift again. We arrive at the village where Liuani prepares fully to rescue Chu Fu. But the elder says to Liuani, "The Dark Tribe is always lurking and roaming outside the city. You're traveling at night all alone without even a tribal warrior. The moment you leave the city, you're courting death." Liuani pays little attention to the elder's words and brushes past him, saying, "Oh, if you're talking about the kind of warrior I beat black and blue during the day, I think I'll pass." The elder snaps, "You don't even like Chu Fu, why take such a risk for her?" Liuani replies, "Elder, I have a reason why I must save Chu Fu." The elder asks, "What reason? Go on, tell me." Liuani thinks, to match my character persona, this reason had better be a bit scummy. Then he says aloud, "Chu Fu is my female slave. If she gets defiled by those male members of the Dark Tribe, where will I show my face in the future?" Hearing this, the elder grows angry and says, "You brat, you're unreliable on any normal day, and you're still acting like a scoundrel at a time like this. If she dies out there, no one will know what happened." Liuani, ignoring him slightly, retorts, "What do you know? A person lives for their reputation, just as a tree lives for its bark. I, Liuani, would rather die than let a female slave become a laughingstock at my expense. All right, stay out of my business. If you keep blocking my way, I'll beat you up too." From behind, the elder calls after Liuani, "I'm your father's sworn friend, that's why I came to talk some sense into you. I never thought you'd be the type to care more about your pride than your life. Liuani, if you don't have the money to buy slaves, I, as your uncle, will subsidize you. You can pick any of the female slaves from my house, just stay put. But Li Yuani still ignores the elder and says, It's my property, and I call the shots. He thinks, I didn't expect this elder Su to be so kind. To think someone actually cares whether the original owner lives or dies. Li Yuani steps out through the village gate with his system active beside him. But a shadow follows Li Yuani, a silhouette trailing his steps. Suddenly he senses that something is wrong. He turns around and calls out, Who is following me? He looks back, but no one is there, so he continues on his journey. A short way down the road the system prompts Li Yuani. Why don't you just redeem the danger premonition? In a situation like this, it counts as a life-saving item. Li Yuani grows a little frustrated and replies, 45 points is too expensive. I'll be broke after redeeming it. Can it be a little cheaper? At that moment the shadow leaps and attacks Li Yuani, surrounding him. Li Yuani is startled. He tries to make sense of what it is, but before he can understand anything, he vanishes, and the moonlit night remains clear and undisturbed. So in the previous part, someone kidnapped Li Yuani, and at the beginning of this chapter, we see a cave where Li Yuani slowly starts to open his eyes, and pain begins to throb in his head, and he says, Damn it, why is the faucet leaking again? Which one of you dorm bros is gonna check it? Then suddenly he remembers something. That's not right, holy shit! And he jolts up and starts looking around, trying to understand where exactly he is right now. Just then, he hears the system's voice and asks where he is, but the system tells Li Yuani, Congratulations, you've hit the jackpot! You've been caught by our second female villain. Li Yuani is shocked. The second female villain? The one from the Dark Tribe? So the system explains. That's right. It's her. Listen, she's already here. Host, you can do it. Li Yuani starts acting weird and looks for a way to escape this place. He's muttering, Holy shit, there isn't even a doggy door for a buddy to crawl through. But then he hears something. Why the fuck do I feel like she's running? And suddenly a female rushes in and hugs Li Yuani tightly. She is extremely beautiful and sexy, Li Yuani thinks. It's the ultimate, the strongest Winnie-san. Damn it! I like it! San is already on top of Li Yuani and touching his cheeks, but Li Yuani tells her, Wait, even though you're beautiful and it's hard for me to refuse. At the same time, he's thinking, aren't you a female villain? What's with this passionate act? San leans even closer and says, You're awake just in time. Let me have your baby. Her words shock Li Yuani, and San slowly begins removing her lower clothes. But Li Yuani immediately backs away. Having a baby, it requires the right time, the right place, and the right people. How about we, cultivate our feelings for each other first? And he's thinking, I can't forget, my mission is to find Chu Fu. Based on this damn plot's usual tricks, if Chu Fu suddenly shows up, that corruption value thing will probably be the end of me. Just then, the system warns Li Yuani. Not good, her corruption value is starting to rise. Li Yuani panics. Okay. I've got another one with a rising corruption value to deal with right here. And then Li Yuani feels something and looks down. Holy shit! It seems like his weapon isn't ready to fire yet. He tells San. I know you're in a hurry right now, but don't be hasty. I'm more familiar with this baby-making business than you are, so just listen to me for a second, okay? San asks. Having a baby? You're familiar with it? So Li Yuani turns his head away. What I mean is, having a baby is a technical skill. Why don't we learn the theory first, then move on to the practical application? San says. I want to do the practical application now. My parents stayed together for one night, and then they had me. If I just stay with you for one night, I'll have a baby soon too. You have to take off your clothes to sleep, I get it. She pushes Li Yuani down, and climbs on top of him again. Li Yuani asks desperately, Do you have any other brothers or sisters? Your parents couldn't have planned for just one child, right? Have you ever wondered why you're the only one in your family? San pauses. You're right. Why did my dad and mom only have one child? Liuani is crying inside but says, See? Having a baby is all about the right time, the right place, and the right people. You can't be missing a single one, he thinks. If we really do it tonight, and Chu Fu and Deng Tingshuang run into us, this mission will be a complete failure. Even if we're going to have a baby, it has to be after the 7 female villains have all accepted each other, then the system adds. That's right. In the early stages, you absolutely cannot let the female villains know of each other's existence. San asks. Then tell me, what is the right time, the right place, and the right people? Liuani says. Ahem, were your parents deeply in love? But he's thinking, my head hurts. Where do I even start making things up? San explains. Yes. My parents are the most in love people in the whole world. Otherwise, given their statuses, it would have been impossible for them to be together. Liuani responds. That's it. Only people who are deeply in love can have a baby together. Look, you and I just met. Shouldn't we cultivate our feelings for each other first? Then Liuani continues, and San begins taking notes. With feelings, a man will be full of vigor. Without feelings, a man is like an overripe banana, limp and listless. San says. Ooh, full of vigor. Limp and listless. She looks at Liuani and says, I knew I picked the right person, you know so much. I'm determined to have the most beautiful baby in the whole world with you. Now even Liuani starts feeling a little something, but he still controls himself and says, Did you not listen to anything I just said? But San tells him that she likes him. I started liking you when I saw you protecting the female slaves last time. Liuani thinks last time? Doesn't that mean she's seen Chu Fu? The system tries to understand. Huh! What's going on? San tells Liuani. It's okay if you like me a little less. I'll like you twice as much, so if you add it up, that's a whole lot of liking, right? And San uses her power, causing a black-colored energy to bind Liuani. Liuani shouts, You! What are you doing? But San doesn't answer. She slowly starts removing her clothes and prepares to do what she wants to do with Liuani, or in other words, make a baby. She says softly, Of course, we're doing the baby-making thing. Teach me quickly.